because by the time those rules came to the fore, the public, quite a number of people felt that that was quite an anomaly.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not an anomaly.
Just a moment, Senator, because some people felt, the argument was that in the event that you're not allowed by the Senate because you're supposed to be going through screening, it is not taken for granted that you're going to be a minister, is it? So what use would your declaration of assets have served? The Constitution stipulates that you must do this and do this and do this before you can serve as a minister, which means that you must have gone through the process and maybe you're about to take up the position before you now do what it is that you need to do before you become a minister.
Precisely. You're just making my point.
You're saying that it doesn't matter whether you declare before you come for Senate screening or after Senate screening?
No, I never said so. I've said that this has always been part of the requirements and has always been there. That the only difference now was an emphasis on it. You understand?
The reason why
it's always been there.
I did hear that. What I'm simply saying is that it might have always been there.
Yes.
But I mean, it's when something comes to the fore that quite a number of people would now begin to debate whether it is right or constitutional or legal for the Senate to demand certain things, even if it's always been there, because it's come to the eye of the public. No, do you see anything wrong with that?
No, no. I think that the public could not feel that way. It's because, like I said, the Constitution demands or requires that you must be, you have to fulfill the requirements of being a member of the House of Representatives. Now, for those of us in the Senate and those in the House of Representatives, before you are sworn in on that day.
Not before you run for office.
No, no, before you are sworn in, not before you run for office. You're supposed to declare your assets, and you have that acknowledgement slip is part of the requirements for you to be sworn in. So that means also that if you're going to be a minister, that acknowledgement slip that you have declared your asset, that you have kept to the letters of the law, is also part of the requirement. So it's just I don't know now what we say. In Igbo, we have this adage that it's like it's just a bubbling of the soup in the same pot. It's nothing new, nothing extraordinary.
Tell us, what has been, I mean, when the list of ministerial nominees are submitted, because you've been there from the 6th Senate.
Yes.
Do they usually attach, what do they attach with it? Does it include the security clearance details?
No, the list simply comes, and it comes with an attachment. We didn't come in this one, which is an attachment of the states where these nominees come from. That is the only difference in this one. Usually just a list of names, states that they represent, and so forth. Then, when you're going to do the screening, usually the nominees, they will collect all their CVs and all these attachments, police screening, CCB, all that type of thing. So all those things are supposed to be there when you do the screening. You're supposed to bring your CV. You're supposed to also attach in your CV the copies of your certificates, whatever you declare. So that when we are now assessing you, we have full information for which we assess you. And I can tell you that any of the nominees that does not provide all this, will have to step down this until he provides it. Okay. For example, if a nominee wakes up and says, I went to Harvard, and doesn't provide evidence that he went to Harvard, we have to now ask him, please, let's know, or let's have the, because that's the only way we can know.
Could you explain this? I mean, several headlines these days about this ministerial nominees and screening. Daily Times today was talking about Amechi Mohammed, that's Mrs. Amina Mohammed, scale first hurdle, Senate dismisses petition against ex-Rivers governor. What's behind? Could you give us some explanation?
The newspapers have to sell their papers, and therefore do speculations and all that. I don't know what they mean by first hurdle. The hurdle really is on the floor of the Senate.
And that's today.
And that's today. Well, you start from today.
So the Ethics Committee has no bearing?
No. What happened is that if there is a, what will we say, a complaint or a petition or anything against any nominee, then the Ethics Committee can look into it, you know, and that's the only thing to read. It's nothing, like I say, extraordinary. I think that there's too much drum being beaten in and out of everything, and it makes for good reading in the papers, it makes for good theater, and of course, everybody will be geared up and waiting to see how you're going to slaughter them.
So you're dismissing this as all noise? Is that what you're doing? I'm
saying that we have done screenings upon screenings upon screenings, and it has always been the same rigorous screening that we have done.
Rigorous. We've seen take a bow and go. There was nothing rigorous.
No, I can explain that. There's a Senate rule that says that you cannot impute an improper motive to your colleague. If you stretch that rule, if your colleague is nominated as a minister and comes before you, you have you assume that there is no thing in him, since he's already a senator, that you will have to dig into, except if there is a how do you put it now, a proper petition or something that can come up at that point. So when he comes in front of you as a colleague, what you do is to now ask him to tell the whole world who he is, explain who he is, and then if you now have that particular critical thing, you now ask him. Otherwise, that's why you now tell him to.
So will we see that now?
You mean the bow and go?
Yeah.
I cannot say that. That will happen on the floor.
But this starts when 10 o'clock today?
Yes, it starts from 11, not from 10. Yes.
All right. Senator Ina Abaribe was the former chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Information. He's a member of the PDP. Thank you for coming on this morning.
My pleasure.
All right. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.